Hey guys, my name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get down to the 5-minute tour, I just want to remind everybody who might not have seen it, this channel is giving away a Hero Forge miniature. If you might be into a free miniature custom made to your own specifications, and hey, who isn't, the link to enter in the contest is in the description. Now with no further ado, on to Ustalav. During the Age of Enthronement in 2361 AR, numerous Varisian families settled the land north of Lake Encarthen. These Varisian families did not become the nation of Ustalav until a hero by the name of Solvidia Ustav united the Varisian families and drove out the native orcs, Kelids, Numerians, Sarkorians, basically unwashed vagrants in the region. Ustav named his new kingdom after himself, and the kingdom of Ustalav grew for 5 centuries through his descendants. However, in 2862 AR, amongst constant clannish feuding, King Kaldemov decided to split the nation into 16 counties, ruled by various noble families who all owed their allegiance to the monarch descended from Solvidia Ustav. Under this system, a rare golden age of growth and prosperity would fall upon the region for some centuries thereafter until 3203 AR, when a powerful lich by the name of Tar-Baphon rose from the dead as the Whispering Tyrant. The Whispering Tyrant did as most Lich Kings do, created a vast army of undead, and through diplomacy united the orcs of the neighboring Hold of Belgzin. And with this grand army of orcs and zombies, Tar-Baphon conquered Ustalav in 3206 AR, creating a nation of the dead. Those who did fight against the Whispering Tyrant in Ustalav fought valiantly, but were either killed and turned into undead servants in the Whispering Tyrant's army, or turned into his slaves. The Whispering Tyrant's rule would last for over 600 years, until 3754 AR, when distant Taldor would launch the Shining Crusade. The Shining Crusade lasted 3/4 of a century, in addition to warriors from all over the Empire, dwarves from the Kingdom of Kragadon, and the famous Knights of Ozum, a military order dedicated to the goddess Iomedae, defeated the Whispering Tyrant and cleared the shadows over Ustalav. The tyrant was imprisoned in his haunted capital of Galaspire, and Ustalav lost 4 of its 16 counties in the war. 2 were declared uninhabitable and became a haunted wasteland. The others were given to the Crusader army to create the nation of Lastwall. After the Whispering Tyrant's defeat, the nation was renamed the Immortal Principality of Ustalav, though it never really reached its former glory. The royal line of Ustav had died out during the country's Dark Age. The crown was eventually given to Prince Andreas Odranti in 3934 AR, which contributed to greater infighting amongst the nobility, as everyone squabbled for the little pieces of land they could pick up in the wake of the Whispering Tyrant. Amidst all this, the orcs from the Hold of Belgzin remained a serious threat, especially to northwestern Ustalav, which sits near the Belgzin border. Ustalav was in no position to defend itself, and so these orcs launched raid after raid after raid against what was then known as the county of Tamravenna, now known as Canterwall. For generations, the nobles living in the area held their ground against these constant attacks. In the middle of the 41st century AR, a new count by the name of Ondaatje came to power in Tamravenna. It quickly became apparent, however, that he did not possess his forefathers' military genius, and despite the count's best efforts, the hordes of orcs began to make inroads into Ustalav. In a last act of desperation, the count called out to one of his family's oldest patrons, the dark god Zon-Kuthon. His pleas were answered as a brilliant mercenary captain named Kazavan appeared in the region. Kazavan took control of the forces of Tamravenna and trained them in his brutal style of warfare until the forces of the region became a highly disciplined and ruthless fighting force. Under Kazavan, the orc hordes were driven back across the border into the Hold of Belgzin, and by the spring of 4043 AR, no orcish armies remained on Ustalavic soil. It was then that Kazavan revealed his true intentions. Instead of returning to Ustalav, he built a stronghold at Castle Scarwall and began to gather his own forces. When Count Ondaatje realized that Kazavan was out for himself, he turned against the general, raised an army, and marched it against the general's castle. The Count was easily defeated and publicly executed by Kazavan, who expanded his realm and ruled with terror and war for over a decade, until he was destroyed by heroes from Lastwall. And this is where we sit present day. Ustalav is a strongly divided country that's struggling to reclaim a semblance of what it used to be, burdened by its history of darkness and war, unequaled across the Inner Sea. Amidst the constant political upheaval, rumors persist that the Whispering Tyrant is patiently awaiting his return to the limelight, and so too are his followers. Spirits of the Khalids that once lived in the region continue to haunt the land as well. Long story short, not the most happy place in the Inner Sea to live in. The people who live in Ustalav are an extremely suspicious lot, and who can blame them? With the World Wound to their north, the Orc Hordes to their west, and two of the former counties of the region corrupted by the taint of the Whispering Tyrant, they've got a lot to be afraid of. And fear is exactly why we bring our characters to Ustalav. Whether that fear be something like vampires sneaking in and feasting on the populace, or werewolves setting up a camp in the forest, appearing as simple traders and trappers by day, feasting on your flesh by night, and everything in between, Ustalav is Pathfinder's land of horror. It doesn't take a lot to spin a horror story a la Silent Hill in this region. Everywhere in the Inner Sea region has a real-life equivalent on Earth, and Ustalav's lands somewhere in Eastern Europe. A little bit of Romania, a little bit of Hungary, since in fact Transylvania was a part of Hungary until the Treaty of Trianon after World War I. Hungary also had a legendary founder and ancient king, Saint Stephen. Take all this information, roll it up, sprinkle in a little bit of gothic horror, you've got Ustalav. So what do you guys think about Ustalav? Have you ever built a character who was from Ustalav, or have you gone here for an adventure, like maybe perhaps in the Strange Eons adventure path? Let me know all about it in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next lore video drops next Friday.